Welcome to the 75th edition of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast. We've got a great show for you. All the people on Pop Culture Pros, you're going to meet someone you never met before. I'm Fred saying this. Start the music out.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Welcome to the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'll make it.
Still makes me laugh. I shouldn't. But it does.
Featuring the sultry sounds of Fred and also Alan on the board.
Let's go already!
And now, let's start the damn show.
Welcome, one and all, to the 75th edition of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast. We are so glad you joined us this morning, evening, afternoon, or night. Or is there something else? I missed one?
I don't know.
Morning,
Sound
evening,
like,
afternoon, night.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it, I think.
Yeah, I think.
And we're representing different ones. See, I am representing the morning because it's barely light in my room. Alan is representing midday, and Fred is representing 2 a.m. when mistakes are made. It's fucking neon lights. As always, Fred is sponsored by Vizio. And the Live, the band. Remember
Live
Lightning Crashers. So of course,
young mother dies.
I love that song. Though. That's what it was about. Why are like the happiest, coolest sounding songs? It's sad. It's the way it is. But of course, we're so happy you're here. I'm of course your host Parker. I'm joined by my buddies Freddie and Alan on the board. How are you gentlemen tonight?
Good, chilling.
Are you guys?
I'm in my
okay,
mode.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if you are making a mistake right now by being in that dark room. Because your ass is going to get haunted tonight.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm setting the mood. I want the
ambiance. For you, yeah.
I'm setting the mood.
The rest of for me, the rest of the world is bleak, so it's fine. It's always like no, I'm just kidding. We have a humongous guest. Can't wait to have her on. It's our annual Scared the Shit Out of Us Monday or whatever show. Scared the Shit Out of Us show. Where do we do that? I should have said that at the beginning. Alan, please welcome on and usher on to the stage my lovely wife. Oh, I'm sorry, my ex-girlfriend.
So she's not your wife.
She's my ex-girlfriend because she hates it so much. And I read that once and I was like, that's the funniest thing. I have to do that.
Yeah,
welcome to the show, darling.
You almost forgot.
I did. I always.
We've been joking about it for a week, and you almost forgot. But it's okay.
We planned. This is very carefully choreographed, Fred, as you can tell, as always.
Right, exactly. Always.
So, welcome to the show. As I said, dear, we are very excited because all the people in our audience, listened to the last edition of what was it then? Shayna's Creep Corner.
Grim and Ghastly, I believe.
It was like Shayna. No, it was like her Dark Ages or something.
Creep Corner.
No.
Coffin Corner.
No.
It's like Coffin Corner or something.
It was like you said something like backdoor.
Backdoor alley.
Yeah.
Back alley darkness.
Back alley, yeah.
Back alley mysteries.
This is the Back Alley Returns.
What?
Revenge of the Back Alley.
That's right. Down the hallway. So, of course, like I said, we welcome you on. We're contractually obligated to bring you on once a year to scare the shit out of us with our murders, with your murder talk.
This is not that scary.
It sounds scary so far.
Murder that's not scary.
Seeing Fred in the darkness is scary enough.
Shayna
it's hard for me to recognize him.
Shayna puts the fun in funeral.
Amen to that.
That's my email signature.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe I just thought a mortuary like that, the funeral. It's just like, come on. No reason to be sad.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's the funeral home that props up the guys like on the motorcycle and shit.
It's all Weekend at Bernie's theme. So do you want him to be in a tropical luau or
You can say
riding a motorcycle?
the weekend at Bernie's package.
Yeah.
They keep the body over the weekend and
Let you do whatever the fuck you want with it.
yeah.
It'll be great. We'll even hire a photographer. We can cross the boat. We'll get a photographer to follow you around and just take pictures of it the whole time.
Do like a montage, like a fashion montage.
One last selfie. So you have for us this evening, and Alan, I think, has some scary music.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Of course he does.
You didn't do that yet.
No, you didn't tell me about the scary music. You said you were going to do it.
You didn't do a fart in the beginning of the show.
I did.
Yes,
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, studio audience.
Yeah.
You nose blind.
I was nervous.
You got nose blind to it. You can't.
He's
smell
got
it.
I can't hear it. No, that's the problem. Is like you enjoy the smell of your own business.
Right.
So, but anyway, that has nothing to do with the show.
All right.
So
you need some scary music?
Yeah, give me some scary. You got some scary music? Fire it up.
Right here.
I'm walking on sunshine.
They did the mash.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, I'll do my Beatles songs. That'll scare her. So tell us about your spooky mystery hallway.
It's not spooky.
So this is just,
it's just crime.
Just straight up murder.
Just straight up murder.
Murder.
If anything, it's a little fun.
Okay.
Because you don't know what's coming.
Fred.
Yeah,
okay.
you know. So it's an old one. It takes place. It starts out in 1922.
Oh my goodness, Shayna.
Things were different then. You could just kill people back then. It was okay. It was fine.
Yeah, man, see?
Yeah.
Take him out. Man.
All right. So it was August 22nd, 1922. And Dolly and Fred Osterich, they had gone out to a party.
In the darkness.
What was his name?
Look
Don't
how
worry. He dies just like you.
Am I the murderer?
Fine.
Kind of gave a clue where you playing.
So they went to a party with their friends. They got home. It was about 11 o'clock. Dolly goes upstairs and their coat closet was up there. So she goes to put her coat in the closet and all of a sudden she gets pushed into the closet. She hears the door shut, locked behind her, and she thinks, of course, what the fuck is Fred doing? Why did he lock me in the coat closet? As any person would.
As a real friend does all the time.
Like, what's wrong with my husband?
Classic Fred prank. Lock you in the closet.
So, but then a few minutes later, she hears some loud banging noises. So a few minutes later, the cops arrived because the neighbors heard banging. They got worried. So they called the cops. The cops show up. They open the door.
Nobody was banging in the 20s.
We're banging all right.
And the shocking thing was that Fred had been shot 3 times while she was locked in the coat closet.
I told you I was a murder victim.
That's the good alibi.
I was locked in the closet, man.
You didn't think you'd be the first one to die out of the 4 of us?
I mean,
this 90s horror movie
I was
with the token
murder horror movies. We knew it was coming.
The listeners were like, "Don't listen, Fred. Don't
take your headphones off."
So, anyways, when the officers got there, they took Dolly out of the closet. The weird thing was the key to lock the closet. What?
He said out of the closet.
We're gonna need to get over that.
I told you, you gotta push through us.
Talk a lot about the closet.
Well, I can't wait.
So the key to unlock the closet was sitting on the table right beside the closet itself, which was strange that whoever locked her in there just sat it there so the police could find it.
Right.
The door.
Yeah.
They heard her screaming. So anyways, they questioned her and, asked, was there anything going on? Do you think there's anyone who was like out to get you guys? What do you think happened? And she told police, she said, it's been really weird because there's been about 2 or 3 times where we came home and we thought we might have been robbed, but it was just small things like his cigars would be missing. Or, just little things like that. So we didn't report it, but we do think someone's been in our house.
Yeah.
Well, the police investigated because they thought at first it was like a robbery that ended bad. Like these people were in there, but why did they push her into the closet and then shoot him?
Yeah.
Like on the second floor.
Might as well just shot her too.
Right. So anyways, they did some investigating.
They did some in a closet.
Yeah.
They did some investigating and
All right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
There's more to it. There's more to it. You don't know everything just yet.
I don't. I'm sitting in suspense here.
Oh yeah. It looks
So
like
they-
it.
So they did some investigating, and the only thing that was missing was Fred's diamond pocket watch.
Diamond pocket watch in the 1920s?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he kept it in his upper pocket.
Also, Fred's heartbeat was missing. Sorry. Continue on, please.
Yes, continue.
So the weird thing is, though, where he kept his pocket watch is the same place he kept his wallet, and his wallet was still there, and it had hundreds and hundreds of dollars in it. So they took his watch, but left his wallet in there.
Fred was balling. What did Fred do? What was his occupation? You know?
Fred owned an apron company.
How can you could ball on aprons?
Apron money, but aprons, there was a lot of servants and people in the 20s, man.
Yeah, you were all the kids we used to wear aprons to eat and all that.
Yeah, dude, that was cool.
It was, I mean, aprons were aimed at them.
Aprons.
You know,
Aprons.
yeah.
Fine.
So he was an apron baron.
Yes.
Fred the apron baron.
And what's
So what does Dolly do?
It's
She's a lady of
1920.
leisure.
She don't do
It's
shit.
1922, yeah.
She don't do nothing.
Well, she killed.
That's
She killed him. That's what I
want
wanted.
to job.
Exactly.
This started to sound like the prequel to Chicago.
Was it in Chicago?
No, it was in LA. That's what I said.
Oh.
LA New
Which
York.
Which
There
you
you
know
go.
is going to go great because the LAPD in the 1920s. was
Oh, yeah, they were
known for
dirty.
How amazing they were.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were dirty
Mhm.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was out for the money.
Exactly. So, anyways, let's take it back to the beginning before we
Okay.
get there.
Let's
Okay.
rewind.
Since you asked about Fred and what he did.
Yeah.
So Dolly, I'll tell you about Dolly first, because she's the main character of all this. So Dolly, actually, they think she was born in Germany
Oh. Schnitzel.
in the
Damn
1880s. Her name was Walburga, but they called her Dolly for short.
Oh,
Burger. Oh, like
her grandson would be the
great
actor known as
grandson.
Dr. Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went from one shitty name to another.
But
You're a Wahlberg. She's like, call me Donnie.
You're named after your great grandmother.
who was a no, I'm not gonna
Potential-
say it. I
Who
can't
may
say
have
it.
been a murderer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, anyways, not much is known about her until she was a teenager. She lived in Milwaukee, and when she was in Milwaukee as a teenager, she started working in Fred's apron plant.
Also known as
So she banged her way to
Kilwalkie.
the top.
Exactly, Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. So,
what,
anyways,
what were your thoughts on the Jeffrey Dahmer?
mine.
Yeah, Fred loved it.
I didn't see it. I didn't see
Oh.
it.
I thought the show was good, but
I heard it's gory.
it was cool. Well, I mean, it was Jeffrey Dahmer. People
Yeah,
who
but
think
they
it
don't
was
have to
gory
be
obviously
gory.
don't know what the actual story was.
Yeah, I
because
know.
the
It's
man
like,
killed people and ate them for
Ate
God's
them,
sake.
yeah,
I mean, how
yeah.
can you not be gory?
yeah.
He
With
just cuts
that.
off a little piece at a time. What I mean,
Yeah, this Hannibal Lecter style.
Yeah.
It bothered me. It bothered me more that a lot of people on Facebook and things like that were like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer's so hot. And I'm like, no,
Sexualizing it. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even season his meat.
Well, he was white, Fred or Alan. So
Yeah, and he was eating black people. So.
yeah,
He was actually. He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
he was.
Okay, sorry, Carrie.
All right, no,
I just
that's
wanted to
okay.
know because none of us watched it, and we owe it to the people to that they
Yeah.
know our opinion.
They
It was-
may have. Yeah.
It was I thought it was a good show that explained the story.
If you're into Jeffrey Dahmer, tweet the show at twitter.com/BLC World.
Yeah. Hashtag
Bang.
Dharma drama.
There you go. Dahmer. Dahmer. If you can spell that. All right. Okay. So I didn't want to bang Jeffrey Dahmer. I also didn't watch the show though.
I remember when it happened. I mean,
Jeffrey Dahmer
Yeah.
would have loved you. You would have made so many meals.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm too chewy.
Chewy.
They're like, there's a lot of fat on these cuts. Cheap meat.
Chewy.
Okay.
So it would have been like, I only had to chase him for 6 feet, and then he gave up. He just eat meat.
I was walking behind him. I just clipped him up. You know how when you sweep somebody's back leg when they're walking?
He was just like,
He's
he
mine.
walked up to me and he was like, hey, I'm going to kill you and eat you unless you run away. And I was like, well, shit.
I guess I'm
This
dying
story
today.
was in my freezer.
I always knew it was going to end like this.
Yeah, I knew it. He finally had his revenge.
Okay,
Alright.
go ahead.
Anyway,
So, anyways, Dolly
Dolly's
and Fred
banging her way
start,
up the corporate ladder.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes. So Dolly and Fred start dating, and he's a lot older than her. But so anyway, she becomes like the person, everyone in the factory like goes to Dolly about everything because Fred's kind of an asshole,
Right.
and
Yeah, he
so they usually are. So, anyways, Dolly, like everyone at work's everyone at work likes her. She's supposed to be like a really cool, sweet kind of, fun girl. Like
Right.
the guys all like
flapper.
her. Yeah, the
She's
guys
all
all like
flapping.
her.
Flapping
She's,
in the
cool,
wind
laid
there.
back. Yeah.
I want to see your meat
she's
aprons,
a
doll.
whore.
Tell me the name of the show is not going to be meat aprons.
Please don't make that the segment. Meat aprons.
That'll be the name of
Meat aprons.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, anywho,
So after a few years, they get married. And in 1910, they had a little baby.
Uh-oh.
His name was
so how,
Raymond.
what's the age difference between? Is it like
I don't really know.
What
They
does it say?
don't
You
know.
don't say.
they didn't specify
They don't know
how-
exactly how old, like what year she
Just
was
curious.
born,
Just curious.
because they don't
Yeah.
even know really
that's right,
where she
that's
was
right.
born. It was like in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
when you could just walk 2 miles
Right.
and
Right.
start a new life.
Right. So they don't know
That's it.
exactly, but probably
Yeah,
they think about
okay.
10 years or so. I mean,
Okay.
he was a
Yeah, at
good bit
least.
older.
At
Yeah,
least
he was a good
10
bit
years.
older
I'm
than
Yeah.
trying to
because-
figure out how old they were when she
Yeah.
had their kid.
Well, he died.
She was probably like 14.
He died because of the kid.
No, the kid died.
Oh,
Oh, the baby died? Oh,
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
poor little baby.
But the baby's not important in the story.
Sad.
Oh, of course not. It's dead. Maybe she killed it too.
Maybe. But anyways,
Go ahead. Yeah.
so that caused a lot of tension in the marriage. They'd only been
Right.
married for a little while at that point. They'd been dating for a while. But so Fred, he worked all the time. He started drinking a lot, and so she kind of did her own thing. And,
Damn, he really sounds like me too.
huh?
Fred's like, oh shit.
Damn,
Doppelganger?
you telling me the future?
Listen,
It's 2023.
True. That's almost 100 years.
That's
Fred.
100
That could
years
be this
ago,
August.
yeah.
If this happens to you.
No!
Do you have a coat closet, Fred? Because if so,
I do have a fucking cloak closet. Oh
Does
my!
that
It is
cloak-
upstairs.
What's
It
a
is
cloak
up-
closet?
A cloak
It's just a
closet.
closet with coats in it. 'cause
Where you
Yeah,
hang all
you
your
said
meat
cloak.
aprons.
coat- I got fat tongue. I'm sorry.
And that tongue
Well,
would get
I
him
did,
murdered by his wife.
She'd be like, "Yes, he does."
It's 2022. There are no laws now.
So, yeah.
Or 2023. Shit.
Damn, you telling me the future? Okay,
All right,
go
continue
ahead.
on. So he was drinking.
he was drinking a lot. He
was
worked all the
thinking.
time. He was grumpy with his employees. Like they were just not on the same page. But they stayed together because it was 1922 and people didn't divorce in 1922. But anyways, so Dolly got to the point where she kind of needed some companionship and
Uh-oh.
she met someone at the factory, a young kid. His name was
Uh-oh.
Otto.
A hot shot in the apron game.
I knew up and comer.
This young gun's gonna take over the apron. business.
Rising up and comer. Up and comer. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Party Fred is a weird friend.
Party red.
Fred, who's now sponsored by the Live Golf Tournament, they just spelled it wrong.
So
Put your thumb over the E, Fred. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so they were. She met.
she met Otto.
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 Oh,
Otto.
that's
there
that
you
new
go.
Tom Hanks movie.
Oh, maybe it was Tom Hanks. Maybe that's what the movie's based on.
Oh.
It's the story of this hot young apron man.
The apron.
It's about aprons. It's an untapped market. No one's
He's
written
like,
a
what if
good
they
movie.
tie? What if they tie behind your waist? And they're like, holy shit. Steve Jobs of aprons.
So your pants don't get dirty?
Right. Like, what if we make it longer?
Stop it.
Too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
You're too crazy, Otto Paperman. Whatever your name is. Otto
Apron
Apronman.
man. Otto Apron man.
Well, no, it was in LA, right? So he's like Otto Rodriguez.
Well,
Probably.
this was no, it was not Rodriguez. It was Halber, I think is how you pronounce it.
That's disappointing.
Oh no.
You're very German. He employed a lot of
Oh,
German
okay.
immigrants, yeah, because
Sure, because she might have been from Germany.
well, and he was originally German. She
Whole
was
story.
from Germany.
Yeah.
And at the end of the story, they're gonna be like, and that baby turned out to be Adolf Hitler. Stuck him in 2 weeks in a row.
Was he on here last week? Y'all talked
No,
about
he
him?
didn't show up. Thankfully.
No, I know he didn't show up.
No,
but
we just talked about how Fred admires him.
There's a whole Reddit page
uh-huh.
named Kittler.
With kitty cats.
Yeah, that look like Hitler.
See, Alan, you knew this was gonna happen. You gotta rein him in, Alan.
I was like, what is this? And it was just like
They're just
all
like
little,
cats with
little
little
cats
colors,
with
right?
the
Yeah.
little black, like some of them would have like a black ear. You know how Hitler had
Yeah.
that?
Aw. Adorable and tragic.
Tragic.
But imagine looking at your cat and being like, "Damn, he looks like Hitler."
Hitler,
Like-
fucking Hitler.
Yeah.
Do not name him Hitler.
Weird.
There was one lady cat looked like Hitler, and she was trying to put like an apron on it, or like an apron, but it kept like throwing his hand up. It kept throwing
Oh no.
just like
Oh,
one
no.
paw. He just kept throwing one paw.
No, Fred's conspiracy theory this week. Hitler has been reincarnated
to a cat.
and he's taking over Reddit.
Oh,
Okay,
my
so
God.
where were we? So
Otto.
he's banging Auto
She's banging Otto.
off.
So yeah, she started banging Otto, But after a while, the neighbors started noticing that he was like showing up during the day and things like that. So she called it off. And it was around this
9.
point.
That's what she said.
9.
She's like 9 inch days.
So
yeah, you got to push the narrative. You got to push the story.
Roll the story.
So it was around this time that they were making tons of money. The apron game was crazy.
Crushing it.
He was killing the apron game. And he was like, you know what, damn it? We're so big in Milwaukee. We need to move to LA.
Oh, okay.
We need to open another factory.
Take it
LA.
out west. Take it out west.
So
Okay.
when Otto was doing the nasty, it was in Milwaukee.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banging in Milwaukee.
Yes. So they decided that they were going to get a house in LA. They were going to move out there. They were going to start another plant out that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
apron factory.
Yeah.
Is Fred out of the picture, or is he's still in there?
No,
Fred's the man.
Fred is the king of the apron.
Oh, Fred's the one who's deciding. Okay, I didn't know. If Otto was
Otto's
making
the
moves.
Otto's the side piece.
Otto had the meeting.
Otto's out of the picture at this point.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Side meat.
We'll talk about Otto later, but right now he's not in the picture.
He killed her.
Yeah,
he killed who?
Everybody.
Killed
Killed the momentum.
So they move out to LA and everything, seems to be going well.
Going well.
And then the night of August 22nd, 1922 happens when Fred is murdered. So the police are again. What'd you say?
He said 100 years ago, it still hurts, doesn't it, Fred? He was so remorseful about it. He fucking pulled the trigger.
All right. So police are investigating what happened, and they knew that he was shot with a 25 caliber. Is that how you say it? I don't know things about guns.
25.
Yeah, 25 caliber pistol.
25 caliber.
They find the shell casings. They don't find the gun, and they find a set of unidentified fingerprints on the doorknob.
Which literally could have been anyone in the world because they
but listen, but only on the doorknob to the closet. They don't find any fingerprints anywhere else. Just on the closet. There's no sign of anyone breaking in.
This case, Fred.
Yeah.
No forced entry, nothing like that. So they're real confused as to how did this person get in? Wow. And why are there no fingerprints other than on the closet?
Yeah. Did they
Nazi ghost?
Okay. I may be jumping ahead, but did they find out whose fingerprints it was?
Don't spoil it.
I'm jumping. I'm sorry.
Fingerprints are what's going to break this case wide open.
No. So again, it's 1922. So
it's not NCIS, bro.
Fingerprints.
Look at the fingerprint.
Yeah.
Like, man, pretty close.
Yeah.
What do you say, Johnson?
So, they don't really have any way of testing any kind of DNA or.
Yeah, no, they got nothing.
Right. So, because they don't really have any evidence.
Yeah.
They kind of just rule it, a burglary gone wrong, basically, and kind of leave it at that. Well, friends start getting worried because Dolly is not acting the way she should about her husband having been murdered. Shocker. It's shocking.
I'm queen of the apron game,
baby. I am German.
Does she keep it all? I mean,
Did she keep what?
Does she inherit the whole apron factory?
Yeah. She's his wife.
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, I mean he may have.
But it is 1922. I don't know if
we just give it to a random dude. We don't give it to the women.
Yeah, give it to.
So A few days.
Give it to the dead baby. It was a boy.
Oh, it was Raymond.
Still too soon.
Give it
Baby
to
killer.
Raymond.
So a few days after Fred was killed,
Mm.
there was an anonymous call to the police. I'm sorry, to Fred and Dolly's home. And Dolly had a friend with her because, she was so scared to be by herself.
Mhm.
And so anyways, the friend picked up and the caller asked if there was going to be any kind of reward for information leading to the arrest of whoever
Mhm.
killed
Who killed Fred?
Fred. Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say, "I know what you did last summer."
It was kind of it may be.
I'm seeing a pattern though, because I think the last story I did had an anonymous caller call in, and
Yeah,
yeah.
Pretty much all crimes have anonymous callers. So as long as you have caller ID, you'll never be.
Yeah, that was before caller ID, actually. When you think about it.
Well, that's
You
Star
start
69, that
69,
bitch.
that still works.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna try it.
I think it does.
I
I don't know if you can use it on yourself. I mean,
Why wouldn't you?
use it on.
You use it on cell phone?
Yeah, but why? You have the number show up. Why
Well,
don't
you
you need
can-
to star 69 it?
What? Because you can do
Yeah.
star 76 and block yourself.
It's 69.
I think it was star 76 or star. You could block your number by dialing star 76 or something like that, and then
Just don't
so
call
then
people.
people would star 69 you, and then you'd be in a lover's triangle
That's right.
Right?
of phone sex. Phone sex love triangle. 1-900 party hard versus 1-900
Are you doing
Harley
it?
party.
You can't star 69 on a cell phone, apparently.
Really?
You can only
Do you have to
bank
do it in a
credit.
certain amount of time?
You have to do it in a certain
It's
position.
different though, because remember star 69, that was the thing. You had to pick it up and then you
Get-
dial it, and
get
then you
two
have to dial the
phones.
other number.
And you flip them.
And then that way you don't know who's calling for who.
I gotcha.
Star 69.
That's when you had the flip phone, it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
All
so
right.
they called. And was
So-
there a reward?
Yes, asked if there was I can't say that word.
But
reward.
what?
Reward. So the detective on the case, Detective Klein, felt that whoever made that call was someone who was guilty of doing.
It didn't take much to be a detective in the 1920s.
No, it really-
Figured
no,
that out.
it
You know,
really
this guy's a
didn't.
fucking genius.
It didn't. I mean, what are you going to do?
Like,
Yeah,
that
what
guy
are you
might
doing?
know
You
What
don't
do
have
do?
DNA. You
What
don't
do you detected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not any technology.
Look through those papers, Johnson. See if you can find anything.
There's one around here. Why not?
Must have been the stool pigeon here, see? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look.
That's why they-
The killer signed a confession. It's right here next to the body. We got it.
What's your name, son? He wrote his name right there.
Yes. There's a little bit of crack next to it. See?
Yeah, Donkey. Want a
So
place
anyway-
to sleep for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
Okay.
he instructed this even more amazing police work.
Right.
Whoever answered the phone
investigate that.
to try to keep them on the line long enough for them to track the phone call.
They could
So
do
that's
that?
kind of where they're at. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah, because they had the ladies back then.
Yeah, they had the
yeah,
operator.
Yeah,
right.
the operators.
Like,
But
I'm
that's-
on like 817. Holy shit, it's coming from inside the house.
So the caller didn't call the house back again that day, but that day they did get another lead. So a separate team at the police station was questioning Fred's former plant manager. Harry Voss was his name. And he was the plant manager in Milwaukee, but then he moved to LA. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be somebody you know.
Was he the plant manager in LA too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Yes.
probably transferred him.
Just making
You
sure.
come out
And he
here,
moved
open this plant
right.
up.
Yeah.
Right.
Get these aprons rolling.
Yeah.
We're behind on aprons.
Yeah.
When Fred died, he tried to help Dolly with the affairs of the
I'm
plans.
sure
and
he
stuff.
did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the investigators wanted to question him to get a little more information from him. And apparently he said that Fred was a very difficult guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was grumpy. He was hard to get along with. He drank all the time.
Yep.
And was just no
Check.
one liked him. He was a
Check.
dick. Well, yeah,
Check.
no one liked him.
Fred's like, God damn, I don't really. I feel like you are pulling this from my life.
Yeah, I know.
But oh god, sorry.
Uh-oh. You good?
Oh,
Find
So
your
they were
place.
while they were moving the factory, Fred, there was
Yeah.
an apron shortage. And they were like,
Some
there's an apron
supply
shortage.
chain issues.
They're
Because of
like,
the war in Japan.
Thanks, Harding. Thanks, Warren G. Harding, current president of the United States of America, for this apron shortage that's destroying our business.
Look at me. I'm all dirty as shit. Every time I make a pizza, I get my pants dirty. Flour everywhere.
What happened?
So this guy Harry also went on and on about all the people who hated Fred
Sure.
because everyone hated Fred.
That's right. Everybody hates Fred.
You should name that.
And,
That's the name of the fucking podcast.
And one of the people that really stood out to the investigators was a guy named Edward Flute.
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 Flute. He's a flautist.
He was a German immigrant.
Oh, my God.
That's shocking.
Yes. Oh,
And-
Germans.
Well, he hired a lot of German people at his
Yeah.
factory because he was
Right.
German. Yeah.
All right. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Creating a master race of aprons.
Yeah, keep it in the German
Yeah.
neighborhood.
The aprons can be made by the Germans.
But anyways, so
You know how to
Edward
put the
Flute,
frill on the outside.
Damn Metallica.
so he was hired by Fred, and he was actually a convict before he started working.
Oh, shit.
I guess he still was a convict,
Yeah,
working.
once a
It doesn't go
convict,
away.
always
Yeah.
a convict.
But he actually he lived with Fred and Dolly for a while. Like they were pretty close. Like they tried to help him out. But anyways, for some reason or another,
Maybe a little
Fred
threesome
fired
action.
him. Fred fired him.
Mm-hmm.
And after
Big spinning
Edward
mine.
after Edward was fired, he ended up going back to prison.
Oh,
Oh.
his old job.
He got his old job back.
So while he was in jail or in prison, he started sending a lot of like threatening letters to Fred and Dolly. So police heard that and they thought, okay, this is probably the guy. He was out to get him. He was already pissed at him. So this guy looks like
Fits the bill.
he fits the
Meh.
bill. Yeah.
Brah.
But
It's California, Fred.
or not but
Bro.
he also he also they found out got out of prison right before Fred was killed, which made him look even
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And that was out in Milwaukee. So after he got out of prison, he found out where Fred and Dolly were living in LA, and so he came out west too. Like all these things are really making him look
Yeah,
very guilty.
Very
Not great.
guilty.
yeah.
Very sus, bruh.
However, the
Oh,
cops
yeah.
were because 1922, the cops were never able to find him.
Right.
Right.
He turned left instead of right. And
Yeah.
They
he moved
went
one
right
apartment
in
over. And he
But
was
it's
never
okay.
heard from again.
Yeah. But it's okay because he didn't do it. Anyway, so
No, it
Right,
wasn't
my
him.
man.
Aw,
just a little red herring.
My
I
man.
never know.
I'm glad to hear that it wasn't the guy you most suspect.
You most
Yeah.
suspected.
It wasn't the
That's what
the
you get
convict
for
Glass
judging.
sending-
onion-esque situation for him.
Glass. Man, I knew who that movie was. Who did that shit? The first murder
In what?
in the Glass Onion.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the Glass Onion.
it was
good.
I thought it was great.
Oh,
but I knew who did it. Like,
no, shut up.
It was that guy.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yep. Okay.
Actually, it was
William
a chick.
Dafoe. So when William Dafoe pops up, get ready.
Just waiting for it.
Wait a studio audience for that. All right. So anyway, you threw us the red herring.
Yeah. So with all this happening, they're like, shit, we don't really have anything to go off of.
Right.
Maybe we'll sit down and talk to Dolly, who was there.
Good idea, Master.
Yeah, it's about
She's the last one they talked to.
Oh yeah. No, at this point, they have not questioned her.
Oh my God.
Because
7
she was
years
a victim.
later.
She was a woman.
She's a woman. She can't kill nobody.
Well,
yeah.
in the closet, so
Man.
what can they really get at? What could they glean from
Women, they can't kill people. They don't have the balls for
this
it.
This broad ain't got the meat aprons to kill a man.
But, they could have asked her some questions.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure they did. They were probably like, hey, while we're investigating, would you mind making us some sandwiches?
I know your husband's dead.
Like, how about some coffee while we investigate your husband's murder, bitch?
Could you iron my pants?
No.
So when they talked to her,
hurry up and get the blood out of this floor, out of this carpet. We're gonna rent this apartment this afternoon. Sorry. There's no such thing as crime scene cleanup. It was just the lady, whoever the closest lady was, they just made her do it.
Yeah.
Hey, little girl, get this blood off the street.
Hey, you there? You're not dead. You're barely bleeding. Hurry up and make us something to eat.
So the only thing they really talked to her about was the lights in the house. What lights did they leave on when they left?
Oh.
Which is a weird thing to...
The electricity police.
Yeah.
We're here for the electric company. Huh? All these lights are on.
Yeah, we found a way to find you 3 cents, bitch. You're ruined. Your life is ruined. Apron Factory's gonna fold.
So they asked her what lights were on when they left the house, and she said that they left a light on in the upstairs bedroom and left one on the porch, so that they would be able to see when they got back.
They're like, you're full of shit. You did this.
So, other than that, the police really didn't ask her
Like,
any other
have a great day,
questions.
though.
That's what I'm saying. You can't even be weirded out by this
People.
because it's so ridiculous. The whole thing is
How did
ridiculous.
humans survive to this point in history where we are now?
So nothing else was asked of Dolly other than what lights they left on. It didn't crack the case wide open, which is shocking. So now
Get it?
we have
Lighting joke. 1920s light joke. You get electrocuted all the time. Shocking. Anyway. She's going to punch me in the throat after this. It was over.
No, I didn't get it for a second.
Let me enlighten you.
Hey, that's twice in I made that pun last week that I didn't even realize I made it.
I know, that was so funny. Anyway.
I was like, oh shit.
So Dolly and some of her friends go down to the funeral home to identify Fred's body. So all of this is all of the stuff about the murder is kind of happening within the last, within a couple of hours.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because
like-
I was getting confused too because
I thought this was like time had elapsed.
Flout.
Yeah, no. So
Flout happened like maybe a year or two before the murder, right?
Yeah. So the flute guy, he was in prison, but he had just gotten out of prison.
When he was made
That
when-
morning.
plant manager.
No. That's Harry. Don't worry about the flute guy. The flute guy was the
Okay.
guy who
Wow,
had
so
lived
good.
with them and was suspect for a little while.
Yeah.
but
I
they
thought he
never
was a
found
plant
him.
manager too.
No, he
No.
went back to jail. No, he worked with them. They tried to
He
help him,
worked
and
with
then he
them.
went back to jail. And
After he
that's
got
where-
fired.
Right.
Right.
But he wasn't the plant manager. He was just some.
Harry was
scrub
the
dude.
plant manager. Harry
Okay.
told them about the Edward guy.
Right. Harry Styles is the guy you need to think about.
Harry
Okay.
Voss.
Oh, boss. Yeah,
Harry,
boss Wolf.
Yes. Yes.
The
So
boss runs the boss. I am the manager. I'm also German.
Hey, I'm the manager.
So they went. You keep getting me off track.
We need to take a quick break. We got to take a break. So, okay, let's take a quick break.
And we'll get back
We'll be
on
right
track.
back with the second half, or maybe not half. I don't know of Black League Collective Podcast, and we'll find out who killed all of these motherfuckers. Welcome back to the Black League Collective Podcast, episode number 75. Story time with Shayna / Meat Aprons. So we're back to find out what happened to all of these aprony motherfuckers. Apron loving motherfuckers. All right, so pick up where we left off because I am ready to find out who killed Fred.
Okay.
Dun,
So
dun,
Trying to-
Dolly goes down and identifies the body. And
Yep, I killed him. I killed that guy.
Look at
didn't-
that. I did that shit.
and Fred was buried on August 28th, so 6 days after he was murdered.
Okay.
You know, they did a lot of investigation on his body.
And the third day he rose from the dead.
So they never figured out what was going on. They still are like, I guess it was a burglary gone wrong.
Mhm.
So they didn't have any leads, nothing like
Did they
that.
find the
So
watch at all? Did they look for the watch?
Yeah, they should have checked the pawn shops.
just wait.
Okay, sorry. Are we too detective-y? Are we too master
See, look at
detective-y?
that. I'm
for this
telling
shit?
you. Better
That's
than
a
the
good
1920s.
Yeah. You're already doing better than the police.
Yeah. No, that's the
How
thing. Is in the
about
1920s, I'd have been like, "Oh, I can get away with just saying this is a murder or like a robbery gone wrong." We'll do
Yeah.
no more investigating. Have a good night. Let's go on. Well, let's get out of here by 4:30 today,
Like-
Johnson.
What a great time to be a criminal, though. Like,
Oh,
can
yeah.
you
Oh,
imagine?
yeah.
Like, if I lived back then, I'm not a bad person, but if I lived back then,
No.
I would get into some. Because the only thing keeping me
Allegedly.
from doing terrible stuff is the fact
It's
that
knowing
I'm
you
so
get caught.
terrified. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, just go
It's good
rob
to
a
hear
store.
from the person you
Because
share a
like
bed
now,
with. And she's like,
it's
"I will
not
kill
worth the
someone just for
risk.
fun." If I can
now
get
it's
away
not
with it.
worth the risk because the odds of
No.
getting caught are like so high.
Yeah.
Astronomical.
Because
Yeah.
they
But like,
track you on your phone. They
Dude.
they got fingerprints, like your hair.
yeah, they
be
cameras
places.
on every
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Back then, you could change your hat, and they'd be,
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah. Well, damn.
"Ah, "He's a genius."
He opened
Like-
the umbrella. Shit.
Well, and back then, you could also just skip town and make up a social
Right.
security number.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
everyone's like, all right, well,
$5, you get on a train, it'll take
Yeah.
you halfway across the country. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Start again.
saying?
you can just start a
Gone.
new life.
Yeah.
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 Or rob that town, then take the train somewhere else and just keep
Well,
robbing.
that's what they used to do, man.
So-
They just take a horse and go.
Just
What's
go.
funny though, this is off topic a little bit, but there was a guy that they found. He had passed away. I think it was in Florida, and they realized it was an old man. When they went in,
Was that the one in the
and-
garbage bin?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, but this guy, no, but that
story
sounds
too.
like Florida.
Yeah.
When they started investigating, because it was like a natural death,
Yeah.
but they realized that this guy had no fingerprints, and they found a whole bunch of different birth certificates and IDs.
Oh,
and
that was
stuff.
that dude, EB.
Mm-mm.
Hey, don't be talking about me like that.
Yeah.
No, we're joined by a longtime friend of the show.
The devil.
Here it's story time with Shanna. Shanna. Shania.
China.
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 Sound like Jabba the Hutt.
China.
Jabba poop
No
pants.
bother.
Jabba with
Jabba no
Jabba pooping pants.
bother.
Yeah. Hey.
So, hey, do you know anything about this case, Satan?
Yeah,
Dolly
I
and
do.
Fred?
Oh, yes. Dolly was a nice piece of ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She was banging. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes Otto would show up. Ooh.
Oh, well, yeah, because Satan doesn't care.
Waka, waka, wank, wow.
Satan just loves love.
Yes.
Love.
I'm all
Just
about
love.
It's that sexy mustache.
He's like, I have sex
Oh,
with
yeah.
ghosts,
My
so-
mustache. Look at that. I got a German mustache.
It's
You know, you guys
When
talking
you-
about
when
the
you-
meat apron? It was
When you
my
torture
meat.
Dolly,
It was my meat all along. Yeah.
when you torture Dolly, does your mustache change into like a Hitler mustache?
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's how she sees you.
Yes. I'd be like, hey.
It's like whatever country it is, it changes.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever.
the long,
That's
like
right.
the thing that goes down, you know.
When I'd go to Viking land, I'd have the Viking mustache. And when I
Yeah.
go to the South, I'd have the Southern mustache. And when I went to
One thing I'll tell
California,
you-
I had
Master of
the-
disguise.
I'll
Yes,
tell you
that's
one
me.
thing, Jada,
That's me.
that it seems like the more and more we talk to Satan, the more often it becomes mustache chat. And
My mustache is sexy.
I just,
Look
it's
at that.
great that he has that. I'm just glad that he has a hobby that he likes. So much.
Yes. Oh, I take care of my mustache. Mustache.
All right, say, well, do you have any clues that you can drop me and Fred about who did this murder so we can solve it?
Oh yeah, it was.
A clue,
Oh,
Fred. A clue, Satan.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about it. I'll give you a clue.
We just need a clue so you can. We don't want you to tell us, because we know you know.
Oh, of course I know.
We just want you to help us solve it, because that's what we've been tasked with.
Oh,
since the
okay.
break.
The person
We
that
have a
killed
definitive
Fred.
answer.
The person that killed Fred
Yes.
was a murderer.
Oh,
look at that. That's a Satan clue right there.
That's
Get the hell out of
Right
here.
there.
Ha ha.
All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. And remember, seasoned greetings from my family to yours. And you guys have a good time now.
All right, bye, Satan. See you later.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Freddie, I'm watching you.
I knew.
I know about that.
Leave me alone. Get out of
I
here,
know
Satan.
about that. Yeah, and Dolly was a nice piece of ass. Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Dirty.
Drink with dirt.
Oh,
All right, so continue the story.
Okay. So
We're never going to solve this, friend.
the investigators are trying to do their jobs, and they're still
Failing miserably, yes.
yeah. Well, again, this is about a year and a half later. They're still investigating everything, and they're still wondering. The Detective Clyde, is just like, I still don't understand. Like, why did they take the watch and leave the wallet full of cash? Like, no burglar
Right.
would do that.
Right.
And so,
So they took the wallet full of cash.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. They took the watch and the wallet. I just don't know why.
It just doesn't make sense.
They also pulled out one of his fillings. That's weird.
So this was really bothering the detective. He was like, I got to figure this out, because this is not. And so he also had a bad
Right.
feeling about Dolly, because his thing was like, why would the burglar leave the key sitting right there beside the door, just waiting for someone to unlock the door and get her out?
Right.
Right.
And the only fingerprints they found were on that doorknob. Like, who is this person? How did they immediately know that they were going to be home? Why was there no sign of them breaking in?
Mm-hmm.
So, he continues to do a little digging around and trying to figure out,
Dig it up.
Huh?
Dig it up. Dig
Yeah.
it up. Trying to dig up the evidence.
So he couldn't figure out what was going on, and they started to try to figure out if there's something, if the closet was like the clue. Like, was there some kind of like
gateway to
door in
Narnia?
there? Or, yeah, like if
That's
there's
what I was like,
pretty much.
They haunted that shit like mama or whatever.
Because they're like, was there some way, because they're still thinking it's her. He thinks it's her, that she's the one who did this.
Yeah, he's stuck on
But how could she have locked herself in the closet, left the key out there? So
what's the magic trick?
Right.
Yeah, Houdini.
He goes in and he examines the closet. He's like, maybe there's a fake door in here. Like there's some way
fake
in
wall,
and out.
yeah.
Right. So, but he couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
So, hold on.
Couldn't figure
Y'all
it
talk
out.
for a second. So there was no trap door, nothing like that, nothing weird with the closet.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's a regular old closet.
This is
Regular closet. So, anyways, this continues on for years. They can't
He just keeps looking at the
pinpoint
closet.
anything.
Can't figure it out.
And the one cop won't let it go.
The one cop won't let it go.
Johnson.
Damn it, Johnson, it haunts me.
Dickler.
Brah, it haunts me, brah.
So,
where's the freaking door for the closet, brah?
So he decides, since he can't figure anything out with the house, with the closet, he goes and interviews their friends. He's like, there's got to be something they had to have seen. There had to be something that pointed us to her. So, they asked the friend, he asked the friends, was there anything off? Like, did you notice anything about Dolly? They said nothing. Well, the neighbors, because he finally got around after a while to interview.
He
the
fucking
neighbors.
asked the neighbors? God damn.
Well, he is now.
And the neighbors
He's
are the ones
trying.
who alerted the police.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Get back in your domicile.
He,
We don't give a shit what you have to say. You're an immigrant.
he
Fucking
starts-
Irish. That's what it was.
he starts talking to the neighbors, and the neighbors tell him, they don't really know a ton about the Osterics, but they knew Fred worked all the time, and they knew that Dolly most of the time was hanging out with her brother.
I ain't heard about no brother.
Right. Well, neither had Detective Klein because she didn't have a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like,
I could have solved this shit 3 years ago.
if only I had talked to the neighbors. If only I had
Like,
asked the
wrote it down,
neighbors
like-
and not asked her about her lights in her house. I wasted so much time.
So much time and energy.
He went back to the shop, like the police station the next morning. He's like, got a good tip for you, boys. Start asking people close to the crime. They're like, you revolutionized the game, Johnson. You're the modern day Sherlock Holmes.
Bruh.
So
she was screwing the other
neighbor,
dude too?
somebody.
The neighbor?
well,
Otto?
it wasn't.
No,
it
it's
wasn't a
her brother.
neighbor.
I mean, yeah.
It was the neighbor's
Step
that
brother.
He told the neighbors that it was like her vagabond brother.
Okay.
Man, she must have been banging.
Well, Satan told us that he was. She was.
She's not.
Yeah.
Oh my
okay.
God. Look at them titties.
Is that really her?
Yeah, that's her.
Wow. She was banging. For 1930. We've been through some shit by then,
Listen,
though.
this was 8 years after her husband was killed. So I like to think before the
Fred.
stress, maybe she
Oh, B
was-
must have hurt her bad. Man.
That's what's going to haunt you if you turn around too fast in that dark ass room you're in right now. That's who you're going to see. But it won't be like a ghostly version. It'll just be her. She'll be like, hey, what's up?
You should have stayed in the closet.
Yeah, in your closet. Yeah.
You should have stayed in there, man.
All right. Make her go away. Make her go away. I don't like her. All right.
All right. We're getting into the good part.
Okay,
Yes, we
okay.
are.
Okay. So,
as always, an hour in, we're in a good place.
well, it moves fast now.
It's okay.
So, anyways, the neighbor mentioned the brother, and Detective Klein was like, huh, she never mentioned having a brother. And they said that it was very strange because when the police got to the house that night, she was screaming because she was in the closet.
Right.
But they said they hadn't heard any screaming the night that the gun went off or anything like that. She heard the police come in, and that's when she started screaming. So she wasn't freaking out about her husband or anything like that. But it's not a crime to not give a shit.
Yeah.
It's not a crime to lie about having a brother.
To not being remorseful.
Right. So Detective Klein, he like talked to Dolly again. She's like, yeah, I have this vagabond brother that comes in and out of town. You know, he doesn't really live anywhere, so you can't really track him down. And which again, 1922.
I'm just thinking, Fred. Okay, it's happening in LA. Is there a plausible chance?
Oh my
conspiracy theory world that this is what started the Bang Bros Incorporated. Sponsor of Fredline News. Right, sorry. It's just I'm just thinking we're banging the bros in LA.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, you saw how banging Dolly or a lot of those there was, or whatever the fuck her name
It'd be
was.
like the Bang Model T.
So I guess now at this point, you know, we're like almost 2 years in. Like it's about 2 years after.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like 2 years after the murder at this point.
Right.
And Detective Klein just happened to be walking through the courthouse one day at the same time that Dolly's lawyer, Herman Shapiro, was walking through, and the guys stopped, to say hello. They had, that was his last name.
OJ.
So
Connie's not happy right
lineage.
They stopped
Kanye's not happy with us.
They stopped to chat because they had, he had worked with him with Dolly and things like that. And it just so happened that Detective Klein saw something shiny in Shapiro's pocket, and he asked about it.
Shiny.
And what do you think it might be?
I think it was a diamond pocket watch.
It was a diamond pocket watch.
It's so shiny.
Shining bright like a diamond.
So it was the exact same pocket watch that was
Fred's
pocket watch. Yes,
Fred's pocket watch.
Right, and it had been made just for Fred. So there wasn't.
Of course not. Who else gonna be pulling? Only the apron baron gonna be able to pull diamond studded pocket watches, man.
Not a lawyer.
He invented drip.
You say that, and then I've been thinking about this in my head the whole time. Is like this barren ass, like cabin-esque room that they live in, where there's just like a table and like all the wood is splintery and it's uncomfortable even to exist in. But now that you mentioned it, they're fucking rich.
They're rich, yeah. They got a coat closet,
that changes the whole thing.
They got a coat closet.
We have a coat closet now.
It's true. It's true.
And now I could actually, one of us could
and
fit
now
in
she
it.
can push me in it and murder me.
That's really why I spent all weekend cleaning it out. I've been planning this.
Okay, so
you're gonna find a chicken bone outside.
So Shapiro.
So Detective Klein was like, "Hey, Herman Shapiro, maybe come down to the police station with me because let me ask you some questions about that pocket watch."
Yeah.
And so they go down to the station, and this is where the crazy shit happens.
Shit.
Okay. So so Herman and Dolly, they're not just client and lawyer. They're also dating. They're lovers.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he said she had given him that pocket watch for his birthday. And he just assumed it was something, which to me, I'm like, you're her lawyer. Like the only key evidence in this whole case was the damn pocket watch.
Was the fucking pocket watch.
Yeah, but okay.
Didn't take much to be a lawyer, apparently, in the 20s.
It wasn't a bar. That was
You
just,
could be like, yeah, I passed that exam.
yeah.
You could. You could like write it down.
Yes.
I have passed the bar exam.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Well, if you could
Lawyer.
probably, if you could spell, then you passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he assumed that she had that pocket watch special because she's rich. That
Right.
she had it special made for his birthday. And he didn't realize that it had been her husband's. And he also didn't realize that it was like the biggest piece of evidence in the entire case.
How?
I
Great
don't
lawyer.
know. And so they called Dolly down to the station and they start questioning her. And she says, "Oh, funny story. I actually found the pocket watch while I was cleaning a few months ago. And so I just gave it to him because there was no need in keeping it. And you guys didn't need to know that I found it while I was cleaning up the house." And she's like, "I didn't want to throw it away. So I just gave it to him."
Throw it away.
Yeah. She's like, "You know what? My lawyer's birthday's coming up. I'd like to give him a nice gift."
Yeah. It was like, yeah.
I'll
As
just give
we
them a
all
key piece of
do.
evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Instead of I like that the only options in this was throw away the pocket watch
Yeah.
or give it to
Right.
your lawyer for his birthday.
Right.
So anyways, they talked to her about it, and while she's down at the station, she kind of knows she's not stupid. She's
Yeah.
like, this is probably
I mean, she murdered the dude, so she knows what's up.
so. Anyways, the other Detective Klein, was like, "Why didn't you tell us that you found it? Like, you knew that it was a crucial piece of evidence, and like it's been missing for some time now, and this is what we've been, the thing that we've been looking for."
Right.
And so, anyways, sorry.
Get your
Where
place.
am I? So anyways, I lost my place.
This
It was
episode
you.
of Black Lincoln Collective Podcast is sponsored by 23andMe. Hey, want to find out if you're related to the guy you murdered? 23andMe.
23andMe.
We'll look your DNA up. We don't give a shit.
Shapiro.
So Shapiro,
You can give your murder weapon to
Yeah.
the lawyer, and he'll wear it.
Oh, they never found the murder weapon,
right?
by the way.
And it was his pocket.
Well, you're
the
not
whole
supposed
time.
to tell us this till the end.
It's not important
It's the
that they
end.
never found the murder weapon.
Hmm.
It's not
This is the
important.
climax.
So,
story.
anyways, they looked into the lawyer because they thought, okay, maybe this guy is the guy that killed him, because it couldn't be
Right.
Dolly. We know that.
Right.
But we know she's connected, but maybe he killed her or killed him. But he hadn't actually known Dolly until after the murder. That's when they met. So,
Probably didn't help her then.
no. So, there was another guy that they found out Dolly was dating at the same time that she was dating Shapiro.
That must have
And
been
his name was Roy.
Oh,
Mm.
an
So-
American name. Finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Plum, Roy Plum.
Clum.
Yeah. So she's dating two guys at this time.
Jesus.
Yeah.
She
well,
was
she's
a
a looker.
whore.
Yeah.
She was
Don't
a
you
whore.
don't you slut shame her.
You see her child with her hips?
With her saggy boobs.
So
Did you see how long her pants were? Woo!
I think it had something to do with the money.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah.
the money
I'm
money
pretty
makes a lot
sure.
of people attractive, you know.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the beaver tails.
There's
Well, I don't know what
actually
you're
three.
into, Alan.
Beaver tails.
Yeah, you know.
But
Look like
That's
beaver
also a good
tails.
name of the episode, Fred.
Huh?
We call
Beaver
it Beaver
Tails.
Tails.
Beaver, ta-
That's
beaver
funny.
tails. Woo.
Anyway, so
I'm glad y'all got that. I really am. I don't feel so alone now.
Okay. So Roy finds out.
I'm sorry. Can't help it.
Roy finds out that Dolly has Shapiro and that they're dating. So when he finds out that she's dating another man, he gets jealous. So he goes down to the police department and he's like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I'm going to tell everything I know. So he goes down to the police station and he tells the police officers that not too long after Fred was killed, Dolly came to him and gave him a 25 caliber revolver wrapped in a handkerchief and told him to go throw it where no one could find it. And he said, okay. And so he did.
Put it on her front doorstep and no one ever had it.
Hell no, you accessory to murder.
He threw it to, well, he said he didn't know.
After the fact.
He said that she told him that she had to get rid of it because she knew that Fred had been killed by the same type of gun. And she didn't want police to ask too many questions because she had a similar gun. So they just needed to get rid of it. Yeah. But it wasn't the same gun, is what she said.
Boy.
Makes perfect sense.
People are sounding real stupid.
So
these motherfuckers created the industrial age? Are you serious?
Yeah.
No wonder they had the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd be impressed by that stupid too.
So he did what she asked him to. He took it and he got rid of it. And that was that. So now the police are like, okay. So she had the pocket watch. She had a 25 caliber revolver, but they still can't they can't pinpoint her. And this guy, Roy Klum, they're looking into him, but they really don't have any proof that he did it.
Yeah.
So anyways, they bring her in for questioning. So they wanted to know why she'd given the gun to Roy. And asked him to get rid of it. Did it have anything to do with the fact, did you kill your husband? Or was it kill your husband? And just like, the pocket watch thing, she was like, oh, yeah, I had the gun laying around the house and I just didn't want to get blamed for it. So I just told him to get rid of it. It's easier that way. So anyways,
you sure are.
They finally arrested her. They finally arrested her in 1923, even though they still didn't have anything to actually pinpoint her. They were like, there's a lot of shit that you have.
There's a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Right. So they arrest her and
Killed
Shapiro. No. So Shapiro gets down to the police station. And because, his client is being questioned and things like that, at least they had the sense enough to have a lawyer there, I suppose. Even though she seems to be smarter than I am because she's just saying this shit. And it took her all this to finally get arrested. Anyways, Shapiro is, he's down there. Everything is being questioned. What's that?
That was Dolly.
Dolly's back, man.
Dolly's back. She just dropped the gun off.
She's got me.
She's like, can you put this away for me?
So she's being questioned and she knows that she is under arrest.
Mm-hmm.
So when there are no detectives or anything in the room, she talks to Shapiro and she said, hey, I know I'm going to be here for a while, so I need you to do something for me. And he's like, okay. So she's like, I need you to go to my house and I need you to bring food. Go knock on my attic 2 times. My brother is living in the attic. And if you knock on it 2 times, he'll know that it's someone to trust, who he can trust. Right. But he's going to have food because he's not going to come down on his own. And so he's like, oh.
The whole time.
So he's like, oh, okay, well, I will go do that. So he gets to the house, he knocks on the attic, and this guy comes down. They couldn't find the brother because she said it was like a vagabond brother who just moved around everywhere. Remember?
In her attic the whole time.
Damn.
Well, he knocks on the attic door. The guy comes down. He explains, Shapiro explains, what Dolly had told him. And this guy is like, well, here's the actual story. I'm not her brother.
Oh.
Who
do you think it is?
It's her stepbrother. It's Otto.
It's Otto.
It's Otto.
Yeah.
It was Otto.
It's Otto.
It was Otto.
I told you in the beginning it was Otto the whole time, man. We cracked this motherfucker.
Now, Otto was
Otto.
the one that got out of prison, right?
No, Otto was
Otto's
way
the
in the
one from the
beginning.
old day,
The
back
young
in the
one.
day.
They had
Oh,
dated.
yeah.
When
The
they
hot
first
shot.
started asking
He
questions.
Right.
Yeah, the up and coming.
Up and coming. Yeah.
So
Damn, she put him in
He-
the attic.
he tells the whole story. Now, at this point, they had
Him and an attic and
been,
closet fetish.
it had been about 8 years since they first started dating. And they never actually broke up. Back in Milwaukee,
Oh,
when
still
neighbors started asking questions, Dolly was like, hey, you know what would be best? Just so no one sees us together. You should just move in our attic. And then when Fred's gone, you can just come down out of the attic and we can just have sex all the time. And then you can just live in the attic. And he was wanting to be a writer, so he could work on his writing up there.
Oh, there
It's
you
like
go.
fucking hot in
Tap,
that
tap,
attic.
tap, 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 tap,
Yeah.
tap, tap, tap.
Yeah. No, he couldn't have, no, he wasn't allowed to have a typewriter
Oh, no.
because it would make noise and it would, Fred would hear
He had to write his book Anne Frank style.
it. Yeah, exactly. So,
In a strange twist. He was German. And in a strange twist, he was rescued by a Jew.
So apparently he lived up there the entire time they were in Milwaukee. And then when Fred brought up moving to LA, Dorothy was like, okay, or Dolly was like, okay, that's fine. But
We have to have an attic.
exactly, that's what she said. Yeah, I get to choose the house and it has to have an attic. And he's like, all right, whatever. So she picked the house and Otto left before they did and had already moved into the attic of the new house before they got there.
Damn.
So anyways, what had transpired, because Otto sings like a canary once he's out of the attic.
Right.
Because he's like, I was her sex
Free.
slave. Like she helped,
Free.
and she made me stay up there and I couldn't leave. And, he didn't have, like,
Sure.
where was he going to go? He had no
Instead of-
money. He had no
Instead
job.
of was it flowers? There's Otto's in the attic.
Yeah.
All he had was his peanut butter and his ramen noodles. And
Yeah,
his notebooks.
you feed them the powdered donuts with the cyanide on it.
But he never actually admitted to the murder.
Yeah.
Until he found out like the lies that Dolly had told. And then he's like, you know what? Fuck this lady.
Mhm.
So he finally admitted that what had happened that night was that he heard not Otto, too many names.
Fred.
He heard Fred and Dolly fighting and he was concerned for Dolly. So he came down and Fred's like, holy shit, where did this man come from?
I told
And
you
he
to
was
go
on
coming from
fire.
inside the house.
You
Yeah.
look familiar, just 8 years older.
So they get into a fight and Otto kills Fred. And then Dolly and Otto are like, shit, what do we do now?
Right.
And they decide he just like shoves Dolly in the closet. He locks her in there and then he goes back up in the attic with the gun.
And a pocket watch.
And the pocket watch, yes.
Yeah.
And it's weird to
This
me.
fucking
You would think that the
watch.
cops would have looked in the attic, but
Right.
They didn't look anywhere.
Yeah.
They were literally like, hey, dead guy, who killed you? Oh, he doesn't have anything to say. We give up.
Anything.
yeah.
This guy's not going to be any help.
So he admits to that. And now him and Dorothy are on trial. And they actually charge them with manslaughter.
They can't get him on murder.
They could get him on murder. Well, I guess it was like self-defense. is what they were claiming.
Because he said he was concerned.
And the craziest thing is
they got off.
They did.
They fucking got off.
Yep. They both got off. Neither of them were convicted.
Because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
The money.
And the moral of the story is you can do anything.
You can kill Fred and get away with it.
If you got money.
That's right.
OJ.
So she went on. She got married again and lived happily ever after.
She married Otto?
No. Oh, no. No.
I don't betray her trust.
Yeah. Otto sang too loud. You should just stayed up in that damn attic.
Yeah, I will only live in a basement or on a deck. I refuse to live in an attic again.
But he
like,
did.
no deal, Otto.
He did admit that after Fred was. Here's what I also don't understand. Because Fred had been dead for over a year by the time they found him. Why was he still living in the attic?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Like, let the man come out. Like,
yeah, just give him some money and say, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's over.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it just
maybe he
let him sleep in the spare bed for God's sake.
I'm telling you, because you so rich, you think you got I'll never, I'll never get caught. And
he was tortured.
Well, back then anyway.
He was tortured.
Well, that's what he said. He said that he was a slave.
Oh,
sure. Well, it sounds like he was.
Slave.
Yeah.
You would just knock on the food to bang him and give him food, or like knock on the attic, give him food and bang him. Like,
I think it's really sad that he would just stay up in the attic until someone brought him food. Like, he's a grown man.
Yeah. What if she like went to jail and never told anybody?
Right.
Like went on vacation for a week.
Well, and that's the thing is she could have gotten away with it if she hadn't have told them to do that. Like,
Yeah. If he just held on to the shit, like
you're just gonna go knock on an attic door. Not me.
I'd have got the fuck out of there. I'd have
me
got
too.
some money and be like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of the reason why he didn't get convicted. Because even then, even in the 20s, I think people were like, well, there seems to be a lot going on here. Like, this grown man.
You've been through enough.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do it, so he couldn't have done it. See?
Yeah, you've been through enough, sir.
Right, either.
Look at that face on that woman.
Right.
You suffered too much.
Yeah.
Like how many years?
Jesus.
Poor child.
But you know what the best part is?
Jesus.
The best part is she still got to keep all the money because she wasn't convicted of murdering him.
Yeah.
So she murdered the man. Everyone knew she had a hand. She played a hand in murdering him. And then she got to keep the money. I'm telling you, the 20 years is a great time to be a murderer.
And the apron business. Golly.
Yeah, and the apron business. Yeah.
Big Apron. You don't play with Big Apron.
No, that's around it. That's right. That's exactly, Fred. That's where Hollywood Big Apron was born. Well, thank you for sharing your lovely true story of your life.
Right.
That you experienced, dear. I assume.
Yes.
No. So, okay, Fred.
Yeah.
You think it was Otto the whole time?
Yeah, it was Otto. I knew it was her.
Though.
I knew it was her.
About the attic.
Yeah, the attic was a twist.
But again,
I thought it was
Chapter
her. I
was-
thought she had done it. I didn't realize I forgot about Otto because Shayna said, "Forget about Otto. He's gone."
See, she's throwing
she threw that at you.
Twisting your brain.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah,
I thought it was like at first. I thought it was the jail dude. Was that Flout?
Edward.
Edward. Yeah, Flute.
I like that you're trying to make him sound classier.
He loves
Flout.
If you look his name up in the phone book, it would be Flout Edward.
Flute Edward.
All righty. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to you starting your own podcast with just you and Fred talking about murders.
Me and Fred
Only
would be great
murders in the
together.
podcast.
Oh yeah, murders in Hamilton.
A guy's
There you
named
go.
Fred.
Yeah, only guys.
Murders
Yeah, we
in
only talk
Hamilton.
about murders of guys named
I
Fred.
think
No.
I think a Murder in Hamilton podcast would be
There you go.
fantastic. I
look
listen
at
to
that.
Hamilton when I'm having a bad day in the loud.
I've been known to murder some Hamilton in my
Yes, you
day.
have. Yes,
Here we go
I
again.
will agree with you on that.
I'll murder that shit.
Well, we're going to get out of here. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the 75th episode of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast. We'll see you next week. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Yeah, I'll see you later.